Welcome to day 3 of my spring break as we continue to get these renovations underway. You can see yesterday we got the plastic up, and please don't think it's easy to be out here today. We are old.
All right, welcome back to the next session of refurbishing our hoop house. We got the plastic on, and we're just trying to figure out the end caps, or we have actually figured it out. We just have to do it, which is what we're doing today. So Mandy's going to tell you what's going on.
So basically what we've got today, underneath all this plastic, are the beams and kind of the legs of this hoop house. So we've installed the C-track there along the bottom, and now I'm going to install vertical pieces here so that when we pull this plastic down, we can have it held securely down this front, down the leg, up the door, around the door, and so forth. And then we can put a slit here so that this flap can come up and down in the summertime when we need to vent it, and then we can seal it tight in the winter. So basically we're going to do this process on all 4 corners of the hoop house.
All right, so, and there's C-track around the door as well.
Yeah, so that part I installed before the plastic went up. So you can see there's already C-track on the door.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to get the plastic trimmed so that it fits within that flat or that C-track, and then does not overflow with these giant, enormous
So it is
corners.
like wrapping an odd Christmas present or some kind of birthday gift or something like
cylinder.
that. So you do have to figure out the best way to do it. And there's 2 ways to do this door. We could, pull it down and make the door taut and then trim the door, and then try to figure out the plastic. But that gives us, a lot of folds and awkwardness.
So we think the slightly better way to go is to come in tight from this corner here to kind of set this angle and get the top triangle done.
Yeah.
And then we can get the bottom square done, and then we can get the flap done.
And then the door is last.
Yes.
All right.
So that is our goal. Feel free to join us for this awesome montage.
Something we did discover is that the channel track is very sharp at the edges. So you have to be careful when you're dragging the plastic over it. We did discover that it poked a couple holes in the top of it when we first dragged it over at the corners of the door. So, have some duct tape handy and tape the corners of that C-track. Save your plastic.
I say we did a good job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like it? You want to point out anything in particular?
Yeah, let's start over here at the corner.
Okay.
So we've got our C-track in here. We've got one round installed to hold this square tight. And then we've got a second piece here to hold this flap that connects to the outside. So this little triangle piece here is being held down here and right here. And that will keep the flap down until spring is here.
Yeah.
And then we can take out that piece, loosen this, roll that part up, and we get our vent. And this part will stay secure.
Yeah.
So we've got our C-track holding it tight all the way around the side. There's a small gap in here and another one in here. I'll need to come in and seal those up, but the plastic is so tight that it's going to rip if I try to put more of the wiggle wire in there.
Yeah.
So here on this corner, we've got the same thing. We've got the vertical C-track that's holding both this square and this flap down, so we can take out this short piece and that piece there to open this flap. This flap is still crazy long. It doesn't need to be that long, so we'll probably do some trimming there.
Yeah.
But as you can see, this side of the hoop house,
Functional.
ready to go.
Yes. And it is quite warm in there already.
Yes.
So,
The sun is doing its job.
all right. Excited. Thank you, Mandy.
You're welcome, Pat. All right, welcome to part 3 of our hoop house rebuild. So we've completed the major overhaul so far. We've got the first end cap wrapped up like a beautiful Christmas present, and now we've got one more end cap that we need to do this basically the same to. So as you can see, we've got basically the plastic just roughly draped over this to keep the rain out while we're in between being able to finish this up. So today we're going to roll that plastic back so that we can get to the door and all these side pieces. We're going to finish installing that C-track that we need to hold the wire down, and then we'll pull the plastic tight, get it lined up the way we want, and then trim it around that door, and then we'll be done with this side of the hoop house, and Pam can get her seedlings out of the house because we are out of space. We are so knee deep, or we're at neck deep in starting our summer or the spring seedling crop that we have run out of space. So it is critical that we get this finished up this weekend. So join us for yet another montage as we bust through this project. right, well, that concludes what we were hoping to get done for today. So as you can see, we got the end cap finished up. We've got the joints sealed up nice and tight. We cut our flaps. So if you look right down here, we have a seam here and then another seam that goes back and forth across the bottom there to hold the plastic with the wiggle wire. And then we've got the wiggle wire that goes up and around the door to hold the plastic tight there. So we still have the wiggle wire that goes all the way down the side here. So, and then we have another one that goes on the back side to hold that flap secure. But with that 2-foot apron that we have on the front and probably a 5-foot apron that we have on the back right now, the water and just ground moisture is holding it in fine. So we're not in any anxious rush to do that. But we now have 2 functional doors so Pam can get in and out of that hoop house and we can start migrating our little baby seedlings out here, and it is on for the growing season. So
I thought it would also be good information to know how much the refurbishment cost. Remember, the first hoop house that we built was about $400, and I thought it was like $250 to $300 for the plastic itself, and then $100 for the lumber and all the C-track and hardware and wiggle wire.
And then about $120 each for the patio doors.
Well, that was the first one. So
first round.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we did our own doors. You
Yes.
did the doors.
Yeah.
And now this one has come to be at what we think is about $540.
Yes.
And $300 of that is still the plastic.
Yes.
The doors each were $120, and we got those at Lowe's.
Yeah.
And then we got extra C-track wiggle wire and various hardware.
Yeah.
So.
And that was probably another $100 or so.
Yeah, so still very cheap, and I hope you will continue on with us so we can show you how effective this hoop house is, especially the way we have it set up.
Yep, and my tips and tricks for you guys, my best recommendations if you wanted to do something like this for yourself, the C-track and wiggle wire cannot be beat. So you can try it a couple other ways, but everything I did pales in comparison to what this stuff was engineered to do. It is not expensive. It is so easy to install. We were cutting it with bolt cutters, just filing down the edges so they wouldn't be sharp enough to rip the plastic, putting duct tape over those ends when they were close to the end of the hoop house. But that C-track and wiggle wire, it's worth the price, which is not much. In terms of the plastic, you get what you pay for. So just watch the thickness. If you get something that's too thin, it's going to wear out faster. If you get something thicker, it's going to block a little bit more of your sunlight, but it will last longer, but it's also going to cost more. You also want to be careful with the PVC pipes and this plastic. So there's a chemical reaction that will happen between the two, and it will eat the plastic a lot faster than you want it to. So we've duct taped the tops of all that PVC plastic to add a barrier between the PVC and the plastic. So if you have metal poles or metal piping around your hoop house, you're fine. But if you are going to use the PVC, don't forget to put that duct tape in there as a protective layer. Otherwise, your plastic will last like half as long. If you live anywhere that you get winds, you absolutely have to take that into consideration. This thing has almost gone flying, and the only thing that holds it in the ground is the cemented post. So don't skimp out on that. It is
the
worth
entire
it.
structure has lifted up off
Yes. So the plastic is held down tightly enough that it just was trying to take the wood frame with it. So the cement posts are absolutely necessary. If you guys have tips and tricks of your own, things that you've tried, and you'd like to share those with us, we're always happy to hear how to do it better next time. If you've got better answers than I did, just let me know.
A better way to do end caps.
Yes, and if you've got questions or would like more information about anything, feel free to give us, again, give us that comment. We'd love to tailor our content for what you guys are looking for. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channels, and hit the alert button if you want to know when we put out a new video.
We're YouTube famous now.
Yes, all 0 of our subscribers. We're growing. We'll get there.
Be the first to like our channel.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Yep. Is what we're doing today. So Mandy's going to tell you what's going on.
But I got to do so from a closer view.